9440.
4405.
944405. 1905.
Welcome back, crime fighters. It's time for another edition of Calhoun County's Most Wanted, the program where you get to help make Calhoun County a better and safer place for all of us. I'm Chris Wright, along with our Sheriff Matthew Wade. Good to see you, Sheriff.
It's always good to be on the TV show, Chris. You know, I don't know about you, my fourth wasn't what I wanted it to be. We had to go out and chase six young criminals all throughout the county, but
They were in my front yard, by the way.
I know that, I saw that, but you know, we spent from 4 or 5 in the morning till about 2 to catch them all, and even though it wasn't the way that I wanted to spend my fourth, I felt really good about the work we did on that day to at least catch these people who've done so much damage. So.
Yeah, it was a difficult day, I'm sure, for a lot of people, but to be able to get that wrapped up and let everybody else move on with their fourth, their celebrations.
Absolutely.
And certainly Camp Lee didn't need to be on lockdown all day.
No. You know, those guys had over 120 charges. That we had 70 something just from our office, and Anniston had about the same. So it was well over 120 charges. These 6 people, that's 120 victims. So you know, whenever we can catch people who have victimized our citizens and put them in jail is always a good day. So we're really proud of that. And it took citizens helping us, just like it took citizens to help us with our 11 we arrested this week. So when we had so many, you got to have 2 screens. You know, and that brings our count up to 4,212 people put in jail, all because somebody got involved, just like on the 4th. I mean, a 17-year-old young man is going to be a senior next year at White Plains. They were running in the woods, and I come over a little dirt trail, and I just saw the leg go by, and I thought, did I see something? And I went up there, and I saw them, and I got out of the woods, I started chasing them through the woods, and an Oxford officer was helping me, and they come out the other side of the woods, and a 17-year-old young man had his pistol and held him at gunpoint until we could get there and get him. So when I say the citizens helped, they really helped.
They really did.
Yeah.
So we definitely appreciate their involvement, and so many times it is volunteers getting involved to do all kinds of different things, including what we've been watching on television for the last couple of weeks. They were looking for these kids that were lost in the caves in Thailand, and then they found them, but how do we get them out? They had to get volunteer divers to go in and search for them and then rescue these kids, and thank God they got all the kids and the coach out.
It's a miracle, and you know, we're locally here, we have volunteers that do search and rescue, dive teams. You know, if we had something like that happen here, we would be calling on those people to do that, and nothing beats the heart of a volunteer, and we really appreciate those folks, not only there, but here, that do that kind of stuff, because our community is exactly that. It's ours. It's not mine. It's not yours. It's all of ours. And so those volunteers are very well appreciated.
What they give cannot be overstated. In Thailand, we had one that gave his life, a former SEAL in over there, but he lost his life trying to rescue these kids. And these folks, they risk their lives when they go out on these search and recovery operations. And not only that, but they give away their time beforehand to prepare for it. It's not just, okay, something's happened and I'm going to come out here and volunteer. No, I'm getting prepared to be able to volunteer.
And most of the time they're training, they're buying their own equipment, and it's something they're passionate about. And you know, being passionate about helping others is something that can be contagious and something that we should all try to do.
Absolutely. All right, well, we need to take a quick break. When we come back, we'll have the first half of this week's lineup on Calhoun County's Most Wanted. All right, let's get started with this week's lineup on Calhoun County's Most Wanted. First up, Jennifer Brown of Oxford. She is wanted for failure to pay for possession of a controlled substance. Gerald Edmonds of Anniston, wanted on a failure to appear warrant for giving a false name to law enforcement. Cedric Weeks of Anniston, wanted on child support non-payment and child support failure to appear. Matthew McCormick of Oxford, wanted on a probation violation for possession of a controlled substance. Cesar Garabay of Anniston, wanted on a failure to appear warrant for domestic violence, third-degree assault. Javill Cunningham of Anniston, wanted on probation revocation for second-degree possession of marijuana. Eric Enriquez of Anniston, wanted on a failure to appear warrant for domestic violence, third-degree assault. first half of this week's lineup. If you've got any information about these cases, please call Calhoun County Crime Stoppers at 256-238-1414. All right, we are back, and we'll have some more bad guys for you here in just a few minutes. But Sheriff, it's time again for, we do this every year, Tristan's Ride for Autism.
Absolutely. You know, we were just talking off screen, you know, and this affects so many people in today's world, and we were just talking to how, you know, somebody I know might be going through this process of trying to find out if their child has autism or not, and how that's a stressful thing, and you said it's the approach.
It's how you approach everything. Same situation, you know, when we found out, you know, when they finally got the diagnosis, you know, the doctors looked at us like we were crazy, because we were like, okay, what do we do now? You know,
Talk about your son, Tristan.
Yes, sir, absolutely. And they looked at us like, you're not upset? Well, we knew there was a situation that had to be addressed. Now what do we do to help him out to get where he needs to be? And that's the biggest thing, is you have to go in there with that positive mindset. If not, you're not helping yourself or your child. You really have to keep that positive mindset.
All right, so our guest is Skeeter,
Yes, sir.
a.k.a. Herbert Vanetta, but nobody
Yes,
knows you by that.
Nobody knows me by that, but we'll go with it. We'll let it ride.
You've been doing this Tristan's Ride for Autism for how many years now?
This will be the 7th one. We did take 1 year off a couple years ago. We had had so much going on. But this is number 7, and it's been the last couple years have really got a better hold of everything we're doing.
And you've got a very specific purpose for this. Obviously, you want to raise awareness for autism and help that situation overall, but very specifically, you're raising funds for the teachers that are helping to teach these kids.
That's exactly how it started. When Tristan first originally started school, he spoke 4 words. And through time and, you know, definitely through the effort from the teachers and the help and the love that they give, you know, he was coming out of his shell little by little. Well, my wife and I were thinking, well, how can we give back to the classroom? How can we get to the teachers that deal with this and handle these kids and learn and love these kids every single day to help their classrooms out? So it started off as just a small little motorcycle ride. I was like, we're gonna try to do this. And then now, last year we did the Alexandria School District, and we did right at $1,500 to raise for all 3 schools total for them. And now we're including Welborn. So this year we're doing Alexandria and Welborn. So we're trying to get more and more as we go. Next year, of course, we're going to add another school and get 3 in there. So any bit of money we raise, we don't make a dime off this thing. We give every bit of it directly to the teachers. That way they can do what they need to do for that classroom, because every one of these kids are different. And every one of these kids have different things that'll either pull something out or something they're really good at. And you can't just generalize it. You have to literally give it to the teacher that knows these kids.
From the spouse of a former teacher, thank you.
Absolutely, thank you.
I think most people are aware now, Sheriff, that teachers they dip into their own pocket quite a bit to provide things for their classroom that they know they need, but somewhere up the bureaucracy, it just hasn't happened.
Absolutely.
That's right. You know, and most teachers do it because they're servants. They love the kids.
Yes.
They want to help those children. So it's very touching. My mother was an educator, and she's retired now, but I know that she loved children and loved trying to help them.
Yes.
It wasn't so cool for me to be a kid of a teacher, you know, going through school, but, you know, looking back on it, it's good.
Yeah, and that's the thing, is these teachers give, like you were explaining, they give so much even past what they're given to try to do things. And it was just our way of really just showing support for the schools, helping out any way we can. You know, we're always the kind of people, you can give us a call any point in time. We'll talk to teachers, we'll talk to, you know, to other parents when we get phone calls from that, especially from the web, from the Facebook, you know, the Tristan's Ride for the number 4 autism. You can contact us through there. We're just very supportive in the community, and we want people to ask us questions. We want, you know, we've been through this, we're going through this. So and things are way different than it was when Tristan first started going into the diagnosis and everything. There's so many more options out there to help these kids early on that can help them progress as they go as well.
All right, we need to take a quick break. When we come back, I want to first check in and find out how Tristan's doing.
Yes,
We've
sir.
been following him for almost a decade now.
Yes, sir.
And find out all the specifics for the ride as well when we come back here in just a few moments on Calhoun County's Most Wanted. All right, here we are with the second half of this week's lineup on Calhoun County's Most Wanted. Christopher Phillips of Heflin, wanted on bond revocation for possession of a controlled substance, reckless endangerment, and attempting to elude. Rodney Thacker of Anniston, wanted on bond revocation for possession of a controlled substance, 3 counts. Stephen Taft of Anniston wanted on bond revocation for possession of a controlled substance, use and possession of drug paraphernalia. Shedrick Bethune of Anniston wanted on a failure to appear warrant for theft of property, 4th degree. Dorothy Carroll of Ohatchee wanted for the unauthorized use of a vehicle. Bobby Robertson of Anniston wanted on a probation revocation for possession of a controlled substance. Again, if you have any information about these cases, please call Calhoun County Crime Stoppers at 256-238-1414. We want your information, not your name, and you could get a cash reward of up to $1,000. All right, and we'll have some more crime fighting for you here in just a few minutes. We'll be talking about some property crimes and also a scam that somebody got caught with, Sheriff. That's always a problem we're having to deal with.
Yeah, absolutely. Scams are terrible.
But you could get some cash reward if you help us out. I think we just approved a reward of $250 for somebody, didn't we?
We did, and we appreciate them working with us. You know, somebody helps us out, we want to make sure we get them that money if possible.
All right, well, our guest right now is Skeeter,
Yes,
who has been putting together Tristan's Ride for Autism for getting close to a decade now.
It's climbing up.
And so let's find out about Tristan and how he's doing. What grade's he going to be in this year?
He's going into 8th. Is what it's looking like. He's about to be 14 next week. He's probably at about a comprehension level of a 6-year-old, but he is a lot of fun. He's for some reason he's into Harry Potter right now. I don't know what it is. He's actually making eyeglasses out of wire and glue and everything. It's just it's been a Harry Potter household for the last about a month. So we're just having fun with that, and it's just a lot of fun. I can't. There's no other words I can really use besides, when he's just fun. He's fun to be around. He's always got a smile on his face, and it just brightens your day when it departs.
So how does he handle, I think he's got a big change in life coming up this year. Is his handle change well?
The adaptation takes a little bit, but he does. He can handle things a little bit better now through the process of, going through school and stuff like that. And this will be the 3rd different school he's been to. He started off at Sachs Elementary, where Tristan's Ride originally started from. He was in Alexandria the last couple of years, and now he's going to Welborn. He's going to be going out the Welborn way. So that's another fun thing with this ride is the fact of we're actually contributing to schools that we've been a part of. And that's another thing. We want to keep those schools involved. We want to keep part. Say, hey, just because we left that school district does not mean that we ain't forgot about you. And that's one of the things that we definitely want to do is to thank those people that helped us through that stage. It's all different stages on how you progress through the whole part.
Mm-hmm. And Sheriff, of course, as folks are riding along, this is going to be a week from Saturday that we're going to have the actual ride itself. We want everybody to watch out for the bikes.
Absolutely. Riding a motorcycle is fun. I mean, it is. It's a lot of fun. I got the scars to prove it. So that, I think there's the sayings, but you got to look twice. You got to be respectful of them.
It's a lot of fun. It is a blast, and you guys escort us every single year, and we thank you so much for that. It's such a blessing for that to happen. Does keep the safety up there to make sure that we're seen and known as we're coming through. And just like you said, cars looking out for motorcyclists, but then you got your motorcyclists that don't want to look like they have any sense. So there's both sides. It goes both ways. I see them myself, and I'm like, no.
There's times, there's occasions, and somebody comes by and I go, oh.
Yes.
But you can't use an outlier like that as an excuse to say, well,
No.
it's their fault.
No.
Everybody's got to take responsibility for their own role, whether you're driving the car or riding the
the bike.
motorcycle or just a bystander. Well, let's talk about the specifics of the ride. We haven't done that yet, so people that want to get involved and be part of the ride, what do they need to know?
We're going to be starting off at Wise Guys Pizza in Jacksonville, right on the square. We're going to start meeting up around noon for registration. Goal is to head out by 2 o'clock. Kickstand's up by 2 o'clock. We're going to do about an 80-mile ride like we always do. I'll circle the county. That way, kind of let our nose be out there, a little noise, have a little fun. And we're going to meet back at Wise Guys again. We're just going to be one big circle around the county. And it's a lot of fun. Last year was a blast, the weather permitting. It was great. And then this year the same way with the weather that's going on. We're hoping that it'll hold off just enough for us to get that ride through, if anything at all happens.
And open to any bikes that people want to bring?
Any bikes at all. We're not just on cruisers or, sports bikes. Believe it or not, one year we actually had a guy on a scooter that attempted to ride it out, and bless him, we kept him in the fight, but it was interesting. But, we do different things. My wife, she's actually on board hardcore. She's got a little challenger group that they do as well, and just trying to get as many people out there to just bring awareness to say, hey, look, this is a good cause, and we're trying to do good things.
I hate to put you on the spot here because I know that you've got so many people helping you with this that you're going to forget somebody. It's my fault. I know there's some people that you want to say thank you to.
There's so many people that have been a part of us through the whole top of the river. J Supply Company, Matthews Printing. Oh my goodness, we've got family members that have been, just grandparents that have been involved the whole time. Yeah, you did put me on the spot. Just trying to get my brain working. Last year we had a lot of the businesses in Alexandria were part of it. Foodland out there. There's so many people. Downey Drug. There's just so many people that once we presented it to them, they were like, "Oh wow, this is." We've got friends that are throwing money at us from different states. They saw how it's grown and they're just trying to help so much. And like you said, you kind of put me on the spot on that part of it. There's a Dad's Barbecue. I could just keep going in the sheriff's office, of course.
Sheriff, you see this all the time. When somebody has a true passion for something and they put themselves into that passion, other people get involved.
Absolutely. And that goes with anything,
Yes.
And when somebody sees somebody that's genuine and true and trying to help, others jump on board.
And that's one of the, like I said, that's the reason why my wife and I started doing this. Is it was never about just Tristan. It was about, okay, what can we do for everybody? And that's what we want to do.
All right, so we're about out of time, but real quick, if people need to get in contact and find out more details, how can they do that?
They can do it through the Facebook page, which is Tristan's Ride, 4 Autism. You can also, we have our phone numbers on the flyers and everything. My personal number, 256-282-3755, or my wife at 256-239-7815. I better remember that.
Not many people willing to give their
wife's number
out on television, especially not a Most Wanted show. We'll be back in just a second, and we'll have the Crime Stopper segment of the show and our Crazy Criminal of the Week on Calhoun County's Most Wanted. Now it's time for the Crime Stoppers segment of the show. We've got some property crimes that we hope that you can help us with. Between June 3rd and June 24th, a catalytic converter was removed from a vehicle parked at the Chosey Springs Baptist Church. That's on Highway 9. Between July 4th and July 6th, someone broke into a fireworks stand on Highway 278 in Piedmont. A large amount of fireworks was stolen. On June 27th, a citizen responded to a classified ad on the Birmingham News website for a John Deere tractor. A price was set for purchase. A fake eBay email was sent to her and instructed her to buy eBay gift cards to pay. As instructed, she gave the code numbers from the back of the cards to the scammer, who quickly withdrew the funds. Another eBay Motors email arrived requesting more money, and she knew then that it was a scam. The total amount lost was $2,000. If you have any information about these cases, please call Calhoun County Crime Stoppers at 256-238-1414.
Stupid! You're so stupid!
All right, our Crazy Criminal of the Week. Sheriff, this week comes from California.
Nothing crazy ever happens in California.
Yeah, Robert Quigley, and he was arrested on DUI charges, and the police got on the scene. He tried to swap seats with his girlfriend to pretend like she was driving instead of him.
We've seen that before.
Yeah.
We sit there and watch them most of the time going, look what they're doing.
The vehicle caught fire, and they got out. And then he goes over, while the police are there about to charge him with DUI, he goes over and lights his cigarette from the fire of his car burning.
Nice. That is classy.
That doesn't help him get out of any charges, does it?
No. It's a good story, but you go, believe what this guy did? But we see that all the time, and just because you think it's slick doesn't mean it is.
No. That gets both of you in trouble. All right. That's all the time we have for this week. We'll be looking for you again next week, but hopefully not in the lineup on Calhoun County's Most Wanted.